Hello, guys. Welcome. I'm Canadian. I've never been to Europe. Our food in Canada is not very healthy. Like our national dish is poutine, which is French fries, gravy, and cheese. It's just like fast food. What about Europe? Never been to Europe. I don't know. I mean, I've heard about the food being more fresh, let's say, but let's compare with America, which America is worse than in Canada, but it's very similar, I think. So let's watch a video called American Foods That Are Banned in Other Countries.
Most Americans want to believe that the United States is the gold standard of clean food. But
What?
that belief may not hold up to scrutiny. From unsanitary practices in mass production to the addition of dangerous chemicals, countries have good reason to give the side eye to imported foods claiming to be USDA approved. That's right, this week we're talking about American foods that have been banned by other countries. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. Then
Hey,
leave a
banning
comment and tell us what
American
other
food?
world food facts you would like to know more about. Now let's
the
see how
Fanta,
wrong the
Fanta,
rest
right?
of the world really is.
Or it's not banned, but it's been changed.
Since the dawn of Skittles, there have been rumors about the dangers of eating them. Every one of
Really?
us heard at least one classmate claim that the red ones make you sterile, and the yellow ones, they give you cancer. Turns out, it might be worse than that. First of all, your classmate wasn't wrong. The dyes known as Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 have been linked to hives and hyperactivity in children. Sweden and Norway have banned the candies out of concern. The European
really?
Union will most likely be banning Skittles at the end of the year, having already
Huh.
swapped out some of the dye for more natural flavors.
Wait, when is this video made? 3 years ago. Are they banned now or no?
This is because of something called titanium dioxide, which can be found making the colors pop across the rainbow. Research linked titanium dioxide to damaged DNA, which can lead to cancer. While Europe may be ahead of the Skittles awareness curve, America is quickly catching up.
I love Skittles. I'm eating them quite often. Now I'm not so sure about it anymore.
In May of 2021, the Environmental Working Group asked the FDA to categorize titanium dioxide as toxic. And yes, before you ask, right now
What?
the FDA says it's okay to consume some of that chemical compound. You can taste the rainbow, but just in moderation. California is home to an ongoing lawsuit against Mars Inc., the parent company of Skittles. The lawsuit claims Skittles are not only toxic, but are unfit for human consumption. So maybe for now, play it safe. Just go have
Are
some
you
Swedish fish
serious?
instead.
Never heard about that. Huh? No more Skittles.
Ever looked at a piece of crusty French baguette, be it in cartoon or in real life? But let's be honest, it was probably in the hands of Pepe Le Pew, and think, I can't make a sandwich with that. As great as we talk
yeah,
about
you
the
can.
invention of sliced bread, a lot of European countries have actually banned much of what you'd find on America's wide grocer shelves. That's because we
Really?
make a lot of our bread not just with grain, but with a variety snap packs worth of additives. Like azodicarbonamide, for example,
What?
which helps bleach flour and strengthen dough. Fun fact about azodicarbonamide, it's also used in a spectrum of industrial products, including yoga
Wait, do you guys have sliced bread in Europe?
mats. Downward dogs. The European Union is really against the idea of its citizens eating yoga mat material and has banned their use in food products.
Okay, so you have sliced bread, but it goes stale faster, right? Quicker. Pork?
Pork,
do
the
you
other
mean?
white meat, is a staple of American meats, along with chicken, fish, and beef. From bacon to ham, hot dogs to pork chops. American meat eaters consume about 67 pounds of pig per person every year. Soo-wee, my heart is stopping. Don't get us wrong, other nations indulge in swine just as much, if not more, than Americans. So why doesn't the U.S. export scores of succulent bacon-bearing boars? Well, it turns out America adds a lot of chemicals during processing. Ractopamine in particular is used in many pig farms to raise porkier porkers. Ractopamine, which we put a dash of in a lot of foods, has been banned in 160 countries, which all consider the drug unsafe for human consumption. This, in turn, has led to a prohibition of pork exports across the world. The EU hasn't touched the stuff since outlawing ractopamine in 2009. China and Russia have been ractopamine-less since 2013. Maybe that's because ractopamine has the same effects as an intoxicant on humans and can cause tachycardia, headaches, and muscle spasms if consumed in large enough quantities.
Oh my God, don't
But
eat
it is
pork
a
in
small
America.
price to pay for a perfect piece of the pork.
What? No more bacon, Americans.
Hygiene in
Chicken.
America often comes down to dousing stuff in a chlorine bath and calling it FDA approved, and chicken is no exception. Pathogen reduction treatments, or PRTs, refer to the use of different chemicals to destroy harmful microbes on raw meat. Somewhere along the line, American food regulators decided a quick chlorine shock was the best way to kill salmonella and other bacteria on uncooked poultry. Chlorine marinade. And look, it's not that the EU is against taking a long gulp from the public pool now and then. In fact, the risks posed by chlorine consumption are relatively low. The bigger concern is that the chlorine baths are just an eye-burning band-aid on a larger problem. The tip of the beak, so to speak. They're worried that the PRTs are insufficient to deal with more than just the normal bacteria and don't get at a potential contamination from
Okay, I'm a meat eater. I love meat, but when seeing this, oh my God, it's so crazy seeing this, how it's made.
things like low-quality feed to unsanitary coops on farms. The EU called the chlorine rinse an easy fix, arguing no chemical rinse will ever remove all bacteria from meat heavily contaminated as a result of poor hygiene. That hurts extra to hear it from the French.
Wow, even the chicken, pork, like
Mountain
what?
Dew is the closest any soft drink has come to being fully weaponized. But did you know in Austria and Norway, the soda is outright banned? That's
Really?
because Mountain Dew's signature Chernobyl radiant hue comes from tartrazine, also known as Yellow 5. And if your ADHD hasn't kicked in yet, you'll remember that color and number from the Skittles section earlier. It's been linked to headaches, hyperactivity, and the desire to be annoying to other people. Ironically, the qualities that make Mountain Dew a soda non gratis in other countries is exactly what the brand promotes: a frenetic, over-caffeinated lifestyle. Do the Dew. Baja Blast. Woo-hoo.
My God.
And while you might be able to find
full of
Mountain Dew in Europe,
chemicals.
it's going to hit a little different. That's because Europe spent exactly 2 years in the 90s riding the Dew before discontinuing it. What is being sold as Mountain Dew in the EU has a recipe closer to the original carbonated beverage, as created by Tennessee beverage bottlers Barney and Ollie Hartman in the 1940s. The original Mountain Dew was meant as a whiskey mixer, with the name coming from the affectionate Scottish term for moonshine. It'll tickle your innards, is what the old ads used to read. No lies detected here.
Yahoo! Mountain Dew!
Little Debbie, isn't it pancake?
Little
What is
Debbie
that?
has been providing Americans with comfort snack food since the 1960s, with their variety of zebra cakes, star crunches, nutty bars, fudge rounds, and cosmic brownies.
Oh yeah,
But their
these
big claim to
cookies.
fame, as anyone who has ever had their lunch packed by a parent can attest, is the Little Debbie Swiss Rolls, a mixture of rich chocolate cake and butter-creamy filling. Over 900 million cartons of Little Debbie products are shipped each year, but
is
none
pretty
of those
good.
cartons go anywhere near
These cookies just there. Do you have that in Europe? We have that in Canada. When I was young, I was completely addicted
cartons
to
go
those. These ones. Oh my God, they're
Anywhere.
so good. Oatmeal cream pies. Oh my God, it's so yummy.
near Austria or Norway. Blame those rascally additives, Yellow 5 and Red 40. Swiss rolls contain 32 milligrams of dye per product, and in those quantities, they've been shown to have an adverse effect on children. And we're not just talking
Wow.
about causing hyperactivity, although one study found that cutting all artificial food coloring from diets may be 1/2 as effective as prescribing kids Ritalin. And while we can't prove there's a direct connection between artificial food coloring and cancer, they do cause damage to white blood cells, causing them to mutate after only 3 hours. Exposure to these dyes could cause tumor cells to multiply way more.
It's so sad because, look, I have a son. He's 3 years old and he's so difficult. Like, it's difficult for him to love food. So you want to give him something he likes, you know? And if it's just Swiss rolls, like, Look what you're giving to your kids. Oh my
rapidly.
God.
For that reason, researchers say a high chronic intake of food colorings throughout the entire life is not advisable. If only they weren't so delicious. Surprisingly, you can buy Little Debbie's Swiss rolls in the EU, but they come with warning labels advising parents of the potential dangers to kids.
What?
You know, like cigarettes.
They have a warning label like on a pack of cigarettes? That's crazy.
When you hear the words banned breakfast
I say
cereal,
crazy,
you're
it's a
probably
good thing.
imagining one of the countless kid-focused brands of sugary morsels, like the oh-so-delicious Cookie Crisp. So you might be surprised to learn that it's actually Special K, the most boring cereal on all of the earth, that has been banned in Denmark and discouraged
What? Special K, isn't it like promoted as a healthy brand of cereals? I think.
in the EU. How does the healthiest box of flakes on the shelf get banned, while stuff like Reese's Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch continue to enjoy free passage? Ironically, because of its supposed health benefits. In the UK, Special K has been put on blast by the Advertising Standards Authority for exaggerating
that's
how
why.
much folic acid they pack into portions. Though it's still legal to buy in Europe, Denmark has completely banned Special K since 2004 for all its fortified vitamins and minerals. Regulators argue that Kellogg's cereal's unnaturally high levels of everything from vitamin A to zinc actually qualify Special K as a genetically modified organism, or GMO. More specifically, Special K is swole with the same artificial compounds that studies have shown to potentially pose health risks, specifically to children and pregnant women. In conclusion, you may want to stick with Crunch Berries.
Steak? No.
You
Hey.
don't need to take
Beef, pork, chicken. Come
a
on.
transcontinental flight to visit countries that have banned American foods. Just drive up to the Canadian border, flash your passport, and sign an affidavit saying you're not smuggling any steak tartare in your trunk. Today, consuming raw meat has fallen out of fashion in the US, much like other foods like veal and pate, which don't make you sick but might make you sad. But while baby cow and overstuffed goose liver is illegal in parts of America now, tartare is not. See, while veal and pate may be uncool, they are also served hot, unlike tartare, which is chopped up cold meat, straight from the cow. Undercooked or raw foods can lead to an increase in food poisoning and parasitic infections.
I'm not a big fan
especially in
of
beef and
tartare
poultry.
or
But
carpaccio.
considering how fancy pants steak
Carpaccio.
tartare is, Titanic food one might say, you'd think countries might look the other way and let the luxury delicacy slide. And for a long time they did. In Canada, meat has to reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, the equivalent of a medium rare steak, in order to be considered safe to serve. But those rules aren't strictly enforced. That is, until recently. In 2021,
Now we have restaurants serving tartare and carpaccio.
restaurant owners in New Brunswick selling steak tartare were all served cease and desist letters. Canadian public health
Really?
officials had decided that amid the ongoing health crisis of COVID-19, the last thing their citizens needed was a side order of botulism.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't live in Canada anymore. I live in Thailand.
Is there anything more American than Coca-Cola? The fizz,
Coca-Cola
the
is
flavor,
banned?
the former secret ingredient, cocaine. Coke is basically apple pie in beverage form. And it's not just Americans who are cuckoo for Coke. Invented by a pharmacist in 1886 Georgia, Coca-Cola quickly caught on overseas. It was the World War II GI's drink of choice. Pre-pandemic, Coca-Cola had 500 brands in over 200 countries, making it the best-selling soft drink and one of the most recognizable brands of all time. But there will always be exceptions, and unlike the other entries on the list, for once it has nothing to do with health concerns. Everybody knows that Coke is not good for you. We just decided collectively that we don't care. No, the countries that have outlawed the brand have done so because of what it represents,
Garbage.
a symbol of the encroachment of American capitalism. From 1962 to 2011, the U.S.
Thailand?
banned sales of Coke to Burma as part of sanctions
Burma.
against the military junta that ruled the country until 2011. It resumed sales in the country in 2012. Today, Coca-Cola is
Really?
only unavailable in 2 countries with long-term trade embargoes with the U.S. North Korea hasn't allowed Coke since 1950, and the bubbly beverage has been banned in Cuba since Fidel
Cuba?
Castro seized supplies in 1962.
Oh,
First the
really?
prequels, now Coke. Is there anything that can't be ruined by the federalization of trade taxation? In a twist of irony and lime, Cuba was actually one of the first bottlers of the beverage outside of America. Today, Cuba Cola has replaced Coke as the country's soft drink of choice, though black market sales abound. After all,
I mean, all these other brands, there's nothing like Coca-Cola. Maybe Pepsi is pretty good too, but all the other ones, I'm not a big fan.
it is the birthplace of the Cuba Libre, aka the rum and Coke.
M&M's. Oh, the dye again,
The
right?
delicious melt-in-your-mouth, not-in-your-hand snacks were originally a collaboration between the Scion sons of the Mars and Hershey dynasties in 1941. Like Coca-Cola, M&M's gained international fans during World War II, as American soldiers popularized the candy overseas as the chocolate that won't get your trigger finger all sticky. But you won't find the candy in Sweden, where it's banned due to a trademark
Oh, yeah.
conflict with a popular national candy that also features lowercase m's as its signature. When Mars
Oh.
introduced the candy to Sweden in 2009, a
Marabou?
court ruled its marketing too similar to that of the Norwegian Marabous, which resemble Kit Kats. During World War I, Marabou had moved its manufacturing to its Swedish neighbors, where it received a royal warrant of appointment by the King of Sweden. And here we thought the Swiss were the chocolate snobs. Should you want to check out what the fuss is all about, Marabou's is sold in IKEA stores here in the US. Well, at least it's good to know that M&Ms don't contain any harmful dyes or chlorine residue, right? That's a pretty important victory for hard-shelled chocolate. So what do you think? Which of
I
these
thought it
banned
would be
foods
because
sounds
of the
the
dye.
most delicious?
Same as the Skittles. What? It's crazy that pork and chicken and Skittles and like what the... I need to start looking at what I'm eating. That's too much. Guys, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.